Yes. The South got something to say. It is live. The South got something to say podcast is live. Let's get it. Let's go. Yeah, we got a special episode for y'all today. Let's get it. Let's go. In this deeply insightful episode, we're gonna talk about hidden corners of emotional lives that explore to find the profound impact of pain that we carry and the secret we keep. Join your host Mel Boat as we uncover why acknowledging and addressing our emotional burdens is essential for true healing and personal growth. Let's get it. Let's go. Yes. My moderator in the building. How you doing, Sugar Baby? Yeah, let's get it. Let's go. South Got Something to Say podcast is live. Before we dig into this very, very powerful episode, once again, we got to shout out. We got to shout out to everybody. We got to shout out to everybody who's doing their thing big. They doing their thing big. Yes. Hey, man, the back to school drive is turning out to be a success before it even started. When I tell you the South Got Something to Say podcast, it's been to throw the biggest back to school drive in Southside history. Y'all ain't hear me when I say it. Y'all ain't heard me when I said it. We finna throw the biggest back to school drive in history. Shout out to everybody. Shout out to all my sponsors. Shout out to all the people who donate. The donations are pouring in. Shout out to Brandon and Tanaya Campbell. Shout out to Scooter. Shout out to New P Missionary Baptist Church. DVD Music, Poke Dog the Greatest. Called me, said, man, what I'm gonna do with all these supplies? I said, bring them to the baseball field. We finna get it. Shout out to Waller Community College Selma. Shout out to Saving the Southside with Kevin Clark. Shout out to Gospel Tabernacle. Shout out to Kona Ice. Man, and the list goes on, man. We doing it. We doing it big, man. Shout out to the Web Media Group, man. Shout out to Martina West and the Web Media Group, man. Doing big things over there on the Web Media Group, man. We doing it big over here, man. South Got Something to Say podcast is not playing around. Yes. Hey guys, tune in to today's message. Follow me on TikTok. Follow Mel to War Hall. And on the YouTube page, the South Got Something to Say with Mel Boat. Y'all do that thing. If y'all really truly want to support the page, the cash app at the bottom of the screen, send Facebook stars, man. Hey, but most of all, just like, follow the page, subscribe to the YouTube channel, follow the YouTube page. I got subscriptions on YouTube, 99 cents. $1 a month, and you can be a subscriber of mine, man, that'll just donate to the content, man. So if y'all would, man, y'all just please go subscribe to the Facebook page, man, hit subscription, pay the 99 cents a month, man, and I'm gonna put it to good use for you. Shout out to all my supporters. Let's get it. Let's go. We doing it big today. We got a very important episode, so we ain't gonna waste no time. Let's start with our What's on Your Mind segment. You already know how we doing it on the What's on Your Mind segment. Let's get it. Let's go. What's on your mind, man? So today's episode came out of the blue. Today's episode, man, I'm seeing a lot, especially our itty bitties. Our itty bitties, they are struggling emotionally. Emotionally, this is like another part of an epidemic with our kids struggling with emotion. And I think it all stems from us as parents. We ain't got our emotions intact. We don't understand what we're dealing with emotionally. A lot of times we want to walk around in masks like everything is all right. A lot of times we want to mask like everything is all right. But in deep down, we know that we are keeping secrets to ourselves. We're keeping things that we should be talking about and building on. We should be trying to understand what our body is going through, our mind is going through, the nature of emotional pain and how it affects our mental and health and physical well-being is real. The heavy toll that secrets it can suppress emotions can take on our lives. Real life stories of overcoming hidden struggles. We all got them. And if you ain't got them, keep living. But we all got them. So we got to unpack this emotional pain, and we got to learn how to seek support and practice vulnerability and set healthy boundaries so our itty bitties can see a stronger us so it can be a stronger them. That's what's on my mind today, y'all. That's on our mind, that we prepare to get our baby back into school. That's what's on my mind. We got to, y'all. We got to understand. We got to understand our emotional health, our emotional impact, our emotional playing in our itty bitties lives. See, on the South Got Something to Say podcast, we all focus on the itty bitties, but we can't do nothing for the itty bitties in real rate. We got to do something about our emotional intelligence. We got to understand more about our emotional intelligence. And that's why we having this episode today. And that's what is truly and really on my mind. Let's get it. Let's go. Let's go, y'all. We gonna get right into the content. We ain't playing around today. We getting right into the content, man. I took me some notes, man, because I'm not a psychiatrist. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a therapist. I'm just a regular man that's trying to get information out to all my people. I want us to understand the barriers that's holding us down. I want us to understand the things that we need to do, the things that we have to do to ensure that our itty bitties are getting the best raising they can get. A lot of our itty bitties are dealing with emotions. And we out here every day masking our things on our jobs, in our everyday lives. We burying our stuff in material. We burying ourselves in material things to try to cover up the dark secrets that we have inside that we can't let go. Sometimes we just gotta let go and let God. Let go and let God. And that's what we're gonna talk about today. That's what we're gonna talk about today. We got a very, very impactful episode. We're going to start off by talking about emotional pain. Emotional pain. Emotional pain is something that we all experience at various points in our lives. It can stem from a variety of sources. Anything can bring on emotional pain. Loss, trauma, unresolved conflicts, husband, wives, children. Often the pain we carry is compounded by the secrets, the thing that we hold on to, that we don't let God, to let go and let God. And those aspects of our experience that we hide from others, or we try to mask with material things, sometimes even from ourselves. These secrets weigh heavily on us, y'all. This stuff weighs heavily on us. And it leads to feeling of isolation, shame, and mental distress that we got to do something about. So we got to. So everybody chill out, grab you a cup of your fine to drink, get you some tea, some Coca-Cola, drink the sunny water, find your comfortable spot, and let's dig into this important conversation. Hey, feel free to chime in. Y'all can ask for the link at any time. Feel free to chime in on this important conversation. But that's what we're dealing with today. That's what we're working with today. We are going to learn today, or we're going to attempt to learn today, how to master our emotions. How to master our emotions. And the first thing we need to do, the very first thing we need to do is become self-aware. Yes. We got to become self-aware. We got to become self-aware. We got to do regular reflection. We got to look around often and do self-evaluation of ourselves. A lot of times we want to evaluate and worry about everybody else. We never sit down and self-evaluate ourselves. Sometimes we got to take time to reflect on our emotions and our identity patterns and the things that we're dealing with. We got to have mindfulness practices. We got to exercise regularly. We got to do things we love. We got to sometimes release this negative energy that we hold on to. We got to take charge and take care of ourselves. We got to do it. We got to live a healthy lifestyle. Regular exercise. regular exercise, physical activity. We got to do these things. Have a balanced diet, y'all. The food that we put in our body, we did an episode on this earlier. The food that we're putting in our body is not helping us emotionally, mentally, or physically. The food that we're putting in our body is not helping us emotionally, mentally, or physically. We got to hone in on what we eating daily. Chicken nuggets from McDonald's is not healthy. Double cheeseburgers is not healthy. They're good. And it's good to put in your diet for them. But we can't make that a part of our regular diet. And wonder why our emotional balance is off. But we're going to talk about it. And we got to learn how to manage stress. Do y'all hear me when I say we got to learn how to manage stress? We got to understand our social support team. We got to have some type of social support team. We got to have healthy boundaries. We got to have somebody we can go to when that we can talk to about some of these things. So many times we try to keep things in. And there always is professional help. We can look at professional help. Y'all don't understand, we can look at professional help. Therapy, counseling. Seek therapy and counseling if you're struggling with emotional issues. That ain't hard to do. Join support groups to connect. Join support groups. Create a support group. Find the people in your inner circle that is your support group. But I know it's hard because a lot of times when you think you got somebody to talk to, they can't wait to talk your business with somebody else. I know it's hard. But our itty bitties are depending on us to be emotionally stable so they can be emotionally stable. And we got to start doing things that's positive. Have positive activity. Ever since I started this podcast, y'all just don't know how much I release into this podcast. How much stress it takes off me because of this podcast. This podcast is my relief. Y'all can find similar interests. What is a podcast? What is exercise? What is singing, writing, reading, anything? You got to challenge this energy that you have, this negative energy, and find a way to flip it positive. I know somebody out there dealing with the same things. Y'all dealing with the same things. And the idea that emotional health is the foundation, it is the foundation to fulfillment highlights in our lives. It's the link between our intrinsic and extrinsic connections. The things that we deal with inside is going to be seen on the outside, whether we think we masking it well or not. Let's talk about it. The South got something to say, podcast. We are trying to focus in on our mental and emotional health as well as our physical health, because that's the only way we're going to help our itty bitties. And that's the way when our itty bitties start to see that I'm emotionally sound, it starts to bleed over. They become more emotionally stable. And that's what we're dealing with. That's what we're talking about. And that's why we tap into these type of episodes. Y'all understand? That's the reason we tap into some of these episodes. Let's turn the temperature down a little bit. Yes. That's why we tap in. Master your emotions with Melbo. That's the name of the episode. We got to understand we have to master our emotions. Now let's get back to the content. So why is emotional health so essential for fulfillment? Because it's your inner commitment. It's your inner commitment to yourself. See, a lot of people waiting on somebody else to fulfill something you need to be fulfilling for yourself. Somebody need to be fulfilling stuff for yourself that you're expecting to get in an outside world from an outside person. So a lot of people think material things, going to bury their stuff into things that they can buy. getting the nicest cars and the biggest houses, getting in all of this stuff. That does not lead to inner commitment to self. A lot of times you'll find yourself buried under all that stuff that you purchase. I know y'all hear me. You got to have happiness from within. Inner commitment and peace. You got to find your inner peace. And you got to have meaning and purpose. You got to make your life meaningful and purposeful. You got to have intrinsic motivation. That means I'm motivated to do this for myself. You got to have intrinsic motivation. That means that I am motivated to do this for myself. And you got to have sustainable joy. Do y'all understand what sustainable joy is? You got to have sustainable joy. At some point in your life, you got to realize that this is what makes me happy. And it can be your kids. This is what makes me happy. Doing this podcast on Wednesday night at 8 o'clock makes me happy. Whenever no matter what I'm dealing with in the world, on the job, with my kids, with my family, with anything in this world, when I get to this point of my day, a Wednesday at 8 o'clock, or Sunday at 8 o'clock, this is my joy. This is my sustainable joy. So if I'm doing this by myself, this is my relief. This is what makes me feel better about myself. Putting together the school drive is an accomplishment for me. Sometimes I'm selfish when it comes to me. And we all got to be that way sometimes. Sometimes you got to master your emotions. That's how I master my emotions. And you got to have quality relationships. See, a lot of times we are so busy trying to be popular, trying to be known, trying to be famous, trying to be understood, trying to be accepted, that we'll accept anything as a relationship. But your joy comes when you got quality relationships. Do y'all understand what quality relationships is? Everybody can't come along for the ride. Everybody can't come along for the ride. The comment section might not be working. I ain't got to come in yet beside my baby. Everybody can't come along for the ride. You got to have deep connections with people. You got to have people that's emotionally stable as well. Ain't no need to go in to talk to nobody who ain't emotionally stable. Two emotionally unstable people ain't going to come up with a brilliant solution to stability. Two people that is emotionally unstable is not going to come up with a solution to stability. Now, what y'all can do is try to help each other find stability, because it's there. And you got to have support and love. See, a lot of these friendships are based off of material things. Who got what? A lot of these friendship and relationships are based off who got what. And y'all wonder why it's not sustainable, because they're not built off support and love. I came on the road today. I'm always down in Mobile doing that podcast. And it just like I said, no matter what I'm doing, I want to stop. I want to stop and just do my release. This is my release. And you got to have resilience and growth. A lot of times, minor steps is growth. Everybody think you got to take that huge step, that you got to be a millionaire to see growth. That's how we look at success, by how financially stable we are, or how materialistically stable we are. We never look at the small steps that leads to growth. We all want this. If I'm not this, I'm not stable. I'm not growing. But it's some people who making way less money than you that is happy. It's some people that got way less things than you that are happy. We got to learn. Literally, we got to learn to master your emotions. We literally got to learn to master your emotions. And we got to learn to overcome challenges. Everything ain't gonna be easy. Everything ain't gonna be easy, but we got to learn to overcome challenges and have a positive outlook on things. So many times we go into things negatively. Do y'all understand? So many times we go into things negatively and we wonder why. And we wonder why everything is always turning out negatively, because we go in with a negative mindset. Okay, so they said my moderator said that the comments are coming in. I'm just not seeing them. But thank y'all so much. Thank y'all so much for the comments. The comments, obviously not seeing them. But let's get back to the content. And I thank y'all, everybody who come in. I'm gonna refresh or something in a minute. But we can't miss the content. We got to have a positive outlook on things. Maintaining a positive outlook and resilience contribute to a sense of fulfillment. See, when you don't think so negatively about things, that's how you feel a sense of fulfillment. I don't worry about the negative. I give the negative to God. I let go and let God. That's how you do. That's how you overcome. That's how you overcome these emotional outbursts that you may have. A lot of times when we are looking, and I see it all the time, I see little children and on the Facebook, half naked, half doing this with guns. And the only thing I'm seeing when I see these kids like that is help me. They're screaming for you to help them. So many times we want to go around and talk about auntie or baby this and this child here. We want to go around and talk instead of looking at the fact that these children are screaming out for help. Help me, please. So that's the thing we got to realize is stop going on the negative aspect of things so much and figure out how this positive thing can work out. Hey, you with the gun. Hey, you with the half clothes on. Hey, you want to come to church with me? You want to just have a sit down with me? And a lot of times you might get the answer no. But that ain't a direct reason for you to start talking about them or downing them or degrading them. That is a you problem. That's you're not tapped in with your emotional intelligence. And the way you tap in, you got to have self-care practices. That, once again, the things you do on an everyday basis. If you live to go to your job, you live to go make somebody else some money and get a little bit of it. That's why I refuse to go work for 8 hours a day and don't do nothing for myself. I refuse it. That's a lot of our problem. We dedicate ourselves to these people's job who make money and give you a little bit of it. If you think your check big, think about who's signing your check. Let's talk about it. I hate I can't see the comments, but that might be a good thing. If you think your check is big, think about who is signing your check. You got to have self-care practices. You got to have regular exercise. We talked about the diet, adequate sleep. Some of us party so much we can't be getting no sleep. Some of us party and drink and smoke and do everything we want to do. Get up on these 4 jobs and work and do it all over again. Your body, that is not good self-care practices. You got to lock in on self-care practices, and you got to have reason for mindfulness and reflection. You know where I get most of my mindfulness and reflection is? On Wednesday night Bible study and Sunday night, Sunday school, and regular order service in church. I get so much reflection because at that time, that is a designated time. You should do it more, but that's a designated time to thank God for what he's doing in your life. See, a lot of times we talk about we can do this at home. You can get church at home, and I'm not encouraging you or discouraging you to go. I'm just telling you, you need to escape from home. You need to escape from everything. You got to have mindfulness and reflection over your life and understand, what am I doing wrong? Where am I going wrong? Why am I going wrong? And that's how you master your emotions. Personal growth and learning. A lot of this y'all did. One thing like I said, I'm not a therapist. I'm not a psychiatrist. But I will go read something. I will go try to understand. I'm not finna come to y'all with no information I ain't even look up. But you know where I get most of my experience from in this subject matter? You don't have to be a doctor. You don't have to be a therapist. All you gotta do is live. Life is the best teacher. A lot of these are things that I'm talking to you about is because I've been through them. A lot of this stuff you can talk about because you've been through them. Do y'all understand me when I say that? So I'm gonna pull up my Facebook on my phone so I can see some of the comments. But y'all, this is just a great discussion that we're having. We're just having a great discussion. Now I can see the comments. I can see them now. I don't know what screen y'all got going on today, but that can't stop the content. Y'all need to come up with stress management techniques, relaxation techniques, time management. We try to fit so much in our day. A lot of times we want to fit so much in our day till y'all don't even know how much it's wrecking y'all emotionally. Y'all trying to make so much money, acquire so many things, and you're missing out on the best thing, and there's peace and good health. You're trying to acquire so many things, acquire so many things that you miss out on peace and good health. Hey, y'all can have them little couple dollars. You can have them big fancy houses. It ain't gonna do you no good if you can't walk and talk in them, or you ain't in your right state of mind in them. Do y'all hear me? It ain't gonna do you no good. It does you absolutely no good if you got all of that stuff and not the right state of mind to be in them. That's why I say people that making a lot less money and got a lot less of you are more happier because they're at peace. Ain't nothing like some good peace. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Now, when you see people that's emotionally unstable, a lot of times we want to just talk about them. We want to go talk to somebody else about them instead of reaching out to see how can you help. A lot of people don't want to help. A lot of people think it's funny. That's why social media is gaining so much attention, because so many emotionally unstable people get on there and tell everything that's going on with them, instead of seeking the right kind of help, the right kind of relationship, the right kind of love, the right kind of support. Let's talk about it. Mr. Johnson said, Emmett Johnson said, the experience create the structure for the life lessons that lead us to change. Y'all better hear what he said. The experience create the structure for life lessons that lead to change. Screen y'all, what y'all doing with my comments today? Let's see, let's read some more comments. She has arrived that mental and emotional health is not a destination, it's a journey. Did y'all hear that? Y'all, hey, if y'all ain't getting that, the comment section rocking. Mental and emotional health is not a destination, it's a journey. See, a lot of times I ask myself the question, what's the difference between mental health and emotional health? What is the difference? See, the one thing I learned about the difference between mental and emotional health. If I go right now and I get my head bashed in with a bat, and I just use some really but that can cause a brain injury. That means it's some structurally happening to my brain. That takes medicine to fix. When you start talking about emotional health is just life experience that you're going through. A lot of times, those can be fixed by changing up some things in your life, adding God to your life. A lot of people don't understand. Some people are going to be on Prozac forever, but the only reason you're on it forever because it don't heal you. That's why you on Prozac forever. But it takes 1 second with God. It takes 1 second to let go and let God, and you wouldn't need none of that. You wouldn't need none of that. All it do is suppress. It messes with your dopamine and your serotonin. Y'all science people know what I'm talking about. But it only takes 1 second with God. And you can put all of that chemical stuff away. When you have been hurt by people that say they want to help create the blockages to our mental and emotional health. Hey, and that happens all the time. A lot of us are emotionally scarred by people that we love. People who love us, that we thought love us, it's the one who emotionally scarred us. They are the one that emotionally scarred us. But you cannot let that mess with your emotional health. You cannot let that mess with your mental well-being. Once again, you got to have stress management technique. Good emotional health, it helps manage stress effectively, preventing chronic stress-related illnesses. That stress will make you sick physically. Do y'all understand that? Being too stressed will make you sick physically. Now you're dealing with emotionally, mentally, and physically injuries. Like I said, man, this is something we just had to get into today because I'm trying to see how we gonna help our itty bitties if we are emotionally disturbed. How can we continue to help our itty bitties if we are emotionally disturbed? Stop getting stuck in a loop. A lot of times we get stuck in a loop. We get stuck in the things. And see, a lot of times people when you make mistakes, people want to beat you up by mistakes. And you find yourself stuck in a loop. Let go and let God. That's what I should have named this. I should have named it that. Let go and let God. You can't be stuck in the loop. And you gotta stop being scared of change. You got to stop having a fear of change. Sometimes you got to do the necessary changes around you that would affect your emotional stability. Sometimes you got to do the necessary changes. And a lot of times those changes ain't pretty. But if you want to sustain your emotional health, you have to change things around you. You gotta not have a fear of making mistakes. A lot of time we have so much fear of stepping out on faith. We have so much fear, and it can make you hesitant to do new things, to change up things that would change the way your body feels. You won't feel so isolated. A lot of times we at home and we feel isolated in $1 million homes, isolated in $100,000 cars, isolated. All of the Jordans, all of the Birkin bags and Coach bags and all of that. But we are feeling isolated because there's no happiness in those material things because there's no joy in your life. You got to stop fearing change. You got to stop fearing change. Self-identify with yourself. Like I said at the beginning, sometimes you got to go be aware. You got to regulate yourself. You got to evaluate yourself. You got to become more aware about yourself. And once you become more aware about yourself, certain things you ain't finna let into your inner spirit because you're going to mess with your inner peace. And once you realize what your inner peace is, all you want is your inner peace. Let's talk about it. See, on the South Got Something to Say podcast, we are not going to try to go in there on day one when school starts talking about what we're going to do for our itty bitties when we are not doing anything for ourselves. Once we correct self, then our itty bitties will start to fall in. A lot of times the kids are only a product of what they're seeing every day. Let's talk about it. A lot of times, the kids that we see in these schools as educators are products of what they're seeing at home. And a lot of times, our teachers, they are taught to deliver content. That's what teachers are meant to do. But sometimes these teachers got to become therapists. Sometimes these teachers got to become parents. Sometimes they can't deliver the content to little Johnny. Little Johnny can't get the content because little Johnny is missing something else. As soon as you get little Johnny a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, little Johnny now can spell that word. Or when you go take little Johnny in there and let little Johnny get a bath and put on some clean clothes, now little Johnny can understand this. He can't learn because of the environment that he lives with, because mom and dad and aunties and uncles and everything around him is so emotionally disturbed. That's what we're dealing with. Teachers are taught to deliver content. But then they have to do so much more to get the child to understand the content because of the emotional gap between them learning and them at home. It's a big emotional gap. Let's talk about it. See, a lot of times, y'all, we deal with things and we don't want to go seek help. You got good pastors, you got good leaders, you got good people. Now you got bad ones too, but we talking about the good ones. You could go talk to somebody. You got to go seek help. Everyone who has lived has experienced something. It's not just you. Everybody who has lived has experienced something. And a lot of times what you learn from what you experience or how you bounce back from what you experience is how you respond to what you experience is how you move forward. And those the ones who have emotional stability and those the ones who don't. The ones that don't respond well, that don't react well, and don't even pay attention, those the ones that don't. Because this is an individual journey. Your emotional health is an individual journey. Everybody can't go on that journey with you. A lot of times, that's our biggest mistake. We think we got a whole team of people on this emotional journey with us. That is an individual journey. Your emotional health is an individual journey. And no, I'm not a psychiatrist. No, I'm not trying to play one on TV. No, I'm not a therapist, but I'm not trying to play one on TV. What I'm telling you is I got collective wisdom from experiences I've been through. You have collective wisdom. If you choose to use it or not, you have collective wisdom on what you've been through. Let's talk about it. Some of us can't even foster empathy and sympathy. Our heart's so cold that we can't foster empathy and sympathy. That's a you problem. And our children are growing up the same way. They seen so lack of empathy and sympathy that they don't even have it. And that's a bad place to put our itty bitties. Now, I got to be the one to tell you. We can't even foster empathy and sympathy for our brothers and sisters. We think acquiring things is happiness. That's how we measure success on who have the most, who makes the most, who house is the biggest, who is the slimmest. That's how we measure success. But that ain't how success is measured. Success is measured in your inner peace and happiness. That's how I measure my success. I might not have more than you, but I sure aim to be just as happy that you are, or much more happy because you're not happy at all. That's my goal. It's a pitfall to materialism, y'all. And that been spoken in the Bible. It's a pitfall to materialism. That's why. Because sometimes you're starting to think that you're doing things for yourself and it's not God doing it for you. All right, let's talk about it. A lot of times that stuff that you have is short-lived joy. A lot of times that stuff is a pressure to maintain, and that what weighs on you emotionally, because you done put yourself out there as this, and it becomes a pressure to maintain this lifestyle. And that messes with your emotion. Y'all know I ain't just talking. I'm gonna have to do a part 2 of this. I'm running out of time. And there's so much more we can talk about. We got to start aligning our values with our purpose. We got to start aligning our values with our purpose. And we need to improve on our values so we can have a better purpose. Sometimes we got to turn this trauma that we have into purpose. A lot of times people don't understand that you could turn that trauma that you have into purpose. But first you got to acknowledge and accept that trauma. You got to face that trauma. You got to heal from that trauma and turn that trauma into your purpose. Y'all can write that down. There's a free nugget. Turn that trauma into purpose. You got to create positive change in your life. You got to identify what your purpose is in life. You got to take action and make that purpose come to life. You got to have personal growth and empowerment. That's on you. That's your individual journey. Yeah, we're gonna do a part 2 to this. We ain't done with this one. Matter of fact, we're gonna pick up next Wednesday. Next Wednesday, we're gonna pick up right where we left off at. We're not done with this because it's such an important topic. A lot of times, yeah, I love Sunday Fun Day. Yeah, I love talking about the politics. Yeah, I like talking about Project 2025 and all of that. I like talking about all that. That's fun. But sometimes we got to sit down long enough. We got to sit down long enough to understand what it's going to take to get our children to the next level, to get our children reading grade levels up, to get our children math levels up, to get our children thinking, to get our children moving, to get them on social media, TikToking all the time, because they are emotionally disturbed, they are emotionally unstable, and that's why they pour their energy into social media. They don't do sustained reading. You don't make them do sustained reading. You would let them lay on their phone and do whatever they want to do until they're done doing it and wonder why they're not getting any better or getting any smarter or grades are not improving. You are emotionally unstable yourself and you're trying to tell somebody else how to not be. That's not how it works. We, just like the comment said, parental involvement. Emma just said parental involvement. We got to become more involved. And just sitting down listening to him for an hour, that's what we talking about. We talking about how you feed them. We talking about how you feed them. McDonald's every day. That stuff do not produce anything but sickness and death. That's all it produces. These kids need a balanced diet. But we're going to pick all this stuff up. Man, thank y'all, man. What a show. What a show, what a show, what a show. Hey, we going to pick this back up, man. I really enjoyed y'all tonight. Hey, man, look, I don't know what happened to the comments today, but it didn't distract me. A lot of time I get distracted by the comments. I wasn't able to get distracted. I see that y'all tore the comment section up like I asked y'all to, man. I am so proud. Hey, man, thank y'all for all the support that y'all give me. Thank y'all for all the support. Once again, July the 27th. July 27th on the south side, on the baseball field next to Bouquet Craig, it's going to be massive. I have garnered a lot of support, a lot of people. I told nobody to send me no money. I said, look here, I'm not the guy to send money to. Go bring stuff. Guess what? Cash out flooded. Guess what? Bouncer house bought. Guess what? Snow cone machines. Guess what? We putting every dime and dollar to use. We gonna have so many things out there for our kiddos. We finna have a hallelujah good time. Meat being bought, barbecue grill being brought out, DJ coming. We all coming and we finna have a good time. It gonna look like homecoming for our itty bitty July the 27th. And men, when we out there, I want to talk to you. Time for us to take back our community. The only way we can build is together. Let's get it. Let's go. What a show. What a show. What a show. I might have to go on the road and do these podcasts a little more often. Yes, yes, yes. Shout out to the chat. Shout out to my subscribers. Hey, everybody who subscribed for the 99 cent, man, I thank y'all from the bottom of my heart, and I'm going to put that money to good use. Shout out to every cash app I receive. Shout out to every subscriber, every follower. Hey, all y'all doing is supporting me so I can give back to y'all and to the itty bitties. That's what it's all about. Each one, teach one. Love or be loved. To the moon. Let's get it. Let's go. See y'all Sunday. We'll talk a little politics Sunday. Next Wednesday, we're going to finish this discussion right here. Holla at your boy. Get up out of here. Melbo out.